Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting to order, please. Elgin Central Elgin Joint Accessibility Advisory Committee. It's October 14th, 7 o'clock. Welcome. First item is approval of agenda. Has everyone had a chance to look at our minutes? Are there any errors or omissions? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve them.
You're approving the agenda, Tom? Yeah. Oh, move the agenda.
Okay, the agenda, I'm sorry. Moved by Todd. Do we have a seconder? Carlene? Do we need to do it or just can
I can read the resolution. Resolved that the agenda for the October 14th, 2025 Elgin/Central Elgin Joint Accessibility Advisory Committee meeting be approved as presented.
No further discussion. We'll call the vote. All in favor? And that carries. Thank you. Next item is approving our minutes. Has everyone had a chance to read them? Moved by Todd. Thank you. Seconder, please. Second by Dave. Further discussion? All in favor? Okay. And that carries. Thank you. I will remind everyone of disclosure of pecuniary interest and the general nature thereof. And I can note I'm seeing none. Our first item to deal with tonight is a delegation. We have Cheryl Stevenson here concerning a sidewalk on St. George Street. Cheryl, please put the microphone on. Welcome, and whenever you're ready, go ahead.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Bear with me. This is brand new for me. I live at 120 St. George Street in St. Thomas, across from Cowan Park. As everyone probably knows, next slide, please. Last year, we had construction on the road, which included replacing the storm sewers, and part of that was to make the road safer for pedestrians and to make the road control the traffic a little bit and reduce accidents, which there was always a lot of accidents. Excuse me. So the section of road that I'm concerned about is the section where I live. It's between the two curves, if anyone's familiar with St. George Street. So starting at the tracks going north, I'm not sure about advancing it, sorry, I'm just kind of winging it. Starting at the tracks going north, there's two curves, and between those curves is the entrance to Cowan Park. There are a total of 9 houses along that stretch. It's a very busy road, a very hazardous road, always has been. But now with the, yeah, we can probably hold it there, thanks. Now with the elimination of the creation of the curbs and the elimination of the anywhere for someone to go, should they, there was, maybe just back it up one if you could, please. Thank you. Yes, it's a high volume road, and the curbs were eliminated, and there was also a guardrail installed at the top of the hill. There was a guardrail there previously, but it was set back into the park, and so it was not serving any purpose to protect the pedestrians on the walkway. I think it was originally installed to keep people from driving through the park right into where the playground was. So the end result is that now there is no place for people to walk on St. George Street on the west side. If you live on the other side, or you choose to walk on the other side, or you can get to the other side, there is a lovely sidewalk and access to Cowan Park. On my side of the road, for the entire stretch of the road up to Wellington, everyone has lost any roadside. So when we go for a walk, we're forced to walk on the road until we can cross to the other side. At the far end, at the Wellington end, this is not such a huge deal because A lot of the driveways are directly across from other driveways. And also it's a long straight stretch of road, so you can certainly see for a good distance if vehicles are coming. The section where I live, it's very, very difficult to see. The speed, even though it's been reduced to 30 kilometers an hour, is not being obeyed. People are still traveling probably 40 to 45 kilometers an hour past our house. On a good day like today, going for a walk in the middle of the day is not too bad. But if the weather's not good, if there's ice and snow, snowbanks, or it's dark, you're taking your life in your hands. The promise was, when this construction was going to take place, was to improve pedestrian safety and comfort. Certainly has done so for the other side of the street, but has actually created a greater hazard on our side. So if you could advance, please. So again, the section I wish to address is from my house number 120 to 132. And that's a total of 9 houses, and they're across from Cowan Park. Trying to get in and out of your driveway, you have to be very strategic about it. Crossing the road, you have to be very strategic. And if you could advance again, please, we'll see. Yeah, so if you were a fit person walking, it is hazardous enough. If you are a person that needs a wheelchair, a walker, have difficulty with hearing or vision, children, it's pretty much impossible. Certainly if somebody is in a wheelchair, which my husband may be in the next little while, there is no place for him to safely walk, go for an excursion. If you could advance, please. Yes, and if you could just advance through the photos following. That's a pre-construction photo. You can see that there is lots of room on either side where the cars are. It's level. So with the construction now, the good thing is the cars don't drive off the road because they can't. They've got a nice high curb so that if they did go too fast, they're not going to drive off the road. They're going to hit the curb. Unfortunately, this is a great disadvantage for someone like me who is trying to cross at this spot here or down the street. If you could advance, please. So this is facing south, past my house on the right, and the Cowan Park is on the left. And this is pretty close to the entrance to Cowan Park. That is pre-construction. And next slide, please. This is facing north. I think the entrance to the park is on the right there, down a little bit. Again, you can see how much room there was to walk on the side of the road without walking in the line of traffic. And then the option to cross, I could select a safe spot to cross along the walk. And next slide, please. And the following ones are illustrating the new conditions. If you could advance, please. So this is now facing in front of my house, facing south, the curve, and it's very difficult to see without opening up the picture more. But the guardrail is now between the sidewalk and the road where it should be. It's much larger than the other guardrail. And it is also an obstructing the view of cars coming around that corner. Please advance. This is facing the same direction, but farther down from the entrance of Cowan Park. Again, you can see that now there's only room for 2 cars. And advance, please. And then this is again in front of my house. If I'm standing here and attempting to cross the road, there is the chain link fence, trees, and the guardrail there. I think that picture is the one that I took, that there's actually 6 or 8 cars on the top of the hill there that you really cannot see. And they cannot see someone trying to cross there either. And please advance. This is winter last year, which we didn't have a lot of snow. But as you can see, a pedestrian would now be forced to walk on the road in the line of traffic. Advance, please. And again, that's facing south from my driveway. And there is no place to cross safely. And of course, if you get a harsher winter, you're going to be having 3 or 4 foot snowbanks and being forced to walk on the road even more unsafely. Advance, please. That's in front of my house when we had a train stop the other day, and this is the traffic waiting. You can see how close you are to the traffic. Advance, please. This is again in front of my house. Cars coming around the curb, they are passing. There's no room other than for the 2 vehicles to pass each other. Advance, please. And then this is a car going around me standing on the road where I'm supposed to walk. And advance, please. And this is a truck coming. Advance, please. Another car veering around. Advance, please. Oops, I guess that's it for those. And I must stress that we have lived in this house since 1981. My husband grew up in this house, raised children. We've always gone back and forth to the park, walked. I'm a daily walker. I will walk a new puppy at 11 o'clock at night, so they'll sleep for the night. I've walked a dog at 5 o'clock in the morning. Since this construction, I will only walk when conditions are ideal. This is a hazard that was created solely by the construction last year, and it has created a serious issue for everyone, and for those who might have mobility issues or children. This is really completely unacceptable. I've been trying to have this resolved since the construction was wrapping up this time last year, addressing it with Central Elgin Council, Elgin County Council, and employees of both. And the list of people that I have contacted to try to resolve this is very long, and it has been a complete waste of my time and energy. And it's certainly a complete waste of time and energy and money of our elected officials and our paid staff. I don't know if there's another slide there or not. And yes, and this is not in line with the vision for accessibility for Ontario residents. And I think as this committee would probably realize that it is not. And advance, please. And that is my hope, that bringing this to the committee and we'll get the ball rolling on trying to resolve this issue. I would like to say also that there are residents on the rest of St. George Street that probably would benefit from sidewalk and crossovers as well, because that's what I'm also asking for, is a crossover at the entrance to Cowan Park, so that there is an opportunity to encourage vehicles to pay attention to pedestrians and to be respectful of the fact that they want to cross the road. Again, other residents farther down the street, certainly around the next curve, would probably benefit from crossovers and sidewalks as well. But this has been a year-long quest for me to try to get this done for my section of road, and certainly other residents are welcome to put the work in to try to get it if they feel that they need it for their own safety. I think that's about it. I go completely off script every time.
All right, Cheryl, thank you for the presentation. I will give committee members a chance to ask a question or give an opinion.
Carlene, my name's Carlene. Before the meeting, I had a chance to pop by your area of the road, and I have to say, I do see your concerns. I have a young child too, and we've frequented Cowan Park as well. So thank you for bringing this up. What's your hope for the crossover area? Is it to lead to a sidewalk on the west side?
So there is sidewalk from the tracks, well, down the hill as well, but there's sidewalk from the tracks all the way to Wellington. And so for anyone on the other side of the road, they should be able to access those sidewalks in a safe manner. And accessibility needs to be taken into account too. someone like my husband who has mobility issues is not able to step over a 6-inch curb, and it's not wise for him to be walking on uneven ground. So as I said, I need a stretch of sidewalk for the area that we live. And the crossover is defined as basically a marked crossover with painted signs. It's not a flashing light. That's the definition of the crossover in Ontario.
Further comments from members? All right. Again, I thank you for your presentation. I will say that this committee here is an advisory committee. And I believe you've had delegations to both Central Elgin and the county.
I have not had a delegation yet. I have answered a petition that was circulated by someone who is not impacted by this, but decided to circulate a petition. So that was in the Central Elgin meeting, I think in August, and in the Elgin County meeting in September, and they are viewable. I am to have a delegation, I believe, next month with Central Elgin.
All right. I think at this point then, you've had your opportunity to speak. We appreciate that. Members have been given the opportunity, so I think our next step is that we have a motion to receive and file this report. Looking for a mover and a seconder for that. Moved by Todd, second by Carleen. If there's no further discussion, please read the resolution.
Resolved that the delegation from Cheryl Stevenson regarding a sidewalk on St. George Street be received and filed.
I will call the vote. All in favor? Against? And that carries. Thank you. Thank you for your
Thank you.
presentation. And we have one more delegation tonight. We have Sandy Higgs from Belmont Historical Society Signs. Sandy, please come forward. There's a button there to push for the microphone, and welcome. Whenever you're ready, go ahead.
Thank you for having me. The Belmont Historical Society is a new group. We've been together for not quite 2 years. We have been doing research for history through Belmont and putting up signs on various properties. When I was traveling in Europe, I found that in some countries, they had things like this, which were models of things that people who were visually impaired could not see. And they were put on small pedestals so that they could feel them and they would know what everybody else was looking at. We are trying to make these signs accessible to the visually impaired. This is our first attempt. It's a 3D print made of carbon fiber, and it's of our original library building. And we thought that it would be an excellent idea, along with the sign we have on the outside of the building, to put this inside the building. We were met with a lack of enthusiasm for the project. We were told it was a fire hazard, that it was, there wasn't enough room for it, that it was a danger because it might fall on somebody. And it became very evident that it was not wanted in the library. It was referred to as something that needed to be stored. We looked at it more as a tool for blind people to access. So understanding that this is not something that a lot of people want to have in their building, we have tried to find another option so that blind people can see what we see. So we have tried something called, I believe they're called leucothanes, so that they're a raised 3D image of a picture. And what we need is some help finding someone who can help us locate a visually impaired person who can help us through this process so that we understand. Like, we are going to try different things to try and transfer the information of a photo to a visually impaired person. And we, being able to see, can't, because we can see it and we know what we're feeling, it doesn't translate for us the way it may for a blind person. So we're looking for some help from you to find out if you have a contact with someone who could help us with this situation, someone who could guide us on the best ways to make these signs and areas accessible to the visually impaired. So my question is, do you have someone like that? I was told that if I approached Central Elgin and said I need a sign in Braille, that it would be forthcoming. I need to know just what kind of help we could get from Central Elgin.
I'm looking, Emily's taking notes down over there. We can look around to the committee members. I'm wondering, we have our neighbors. Go ahead, Jen.
Yeah, so I think what you're trying to do is amazing. First of all, trying to really expand accessibility. When I think of something along these lines, I would be reaching out to the Canadian Institute for the Blind. Often they're very supportive and they can provide, they even have sessions that they run monthly, I believe it is, where you can go in and ask questions to really gain more of an understanding and speak to individuals with lived experience. So that might be a really great place to start with, so that you could learn from them and what they feel would be necessary.
Okay, we have approached the CNIB. I've been talking to Mr. David Greenrich, and he is in Toronto. There doesn't seem to be anyone local that can help us with this because we need someone who can be hands-on with it. They needn't come to us, we can go to them. But again, you mentioned sessions. Perhaps you could let me know where they are and how I access them.
Yeah, I believe they're virtual. I would have to look into it. And I know they're often something you can sign up, I believe, through their website and their drop-in, I believe, and then you can go in and ask questions. I would have to look into it more to make sure that I'm feeding you the right information. So, but I believe that is an option. As for something local like that, I do not have a contact for that because and that might be something. So you're saying they could not provide you with a local person to support?
I've been talking to them now for 2 or 3 months, and so far we have nothing.
Okay.
I'm wondering if our friends from the city, we just did a joint seminar day with them, and they have their own accessibility committee. And perhaps, since they're very close, maybe Emily could reach out, see if they have any contacts.
Yeah, I would be happy to reach out to St. Thomas. I also am part of a network of accessibility professionals across the province, so I can also kind of put a call out to them to see if anyone's done a similar project and would have contacts. I just want to make sure I'm understanding so I can get the full information. The signs would then, are they outside the building? Is it like an external sign? Okay, I just want to make so weather resistant, all that fun stuff for the outdoor signs. Okay. Yeah, I can reach out to St. Thomas. I can reach out across the province. I will maybe dig into if we have any resources here. I do agree with Jen. I know you said you have a contact with them, but I would even ask if they have a local chapter or a local contact or organization that they work with locally. There should be someone in the London St. Thomas Elgin region that is involved in the CNIB because they have groups and different in-person events. So maybe just next time, if you're in contact see, it might not be under the CNIB umbrella, it may be a separate group, but they're supported by them in some ways.
I have spoken with Mr. Greenridge about having someone local, and whenever I call someone local, they keep referring me back to Toronto. Perhaps I could leave my email with you, Emily?
Let's hope that proves to be helpful.
Thank you. Thank you for hearing me.
All right. I give the opportunity to enter if there's any questions for. Everyone looks happy, so thank you for your delegation, please. Yes, do you want to call it out?
So the motion reads, resolved that the delegation from Sandy Higgs regarding the Belmont Historical Society signs be received and filed.
Mover and seconder, Todd moves. Do we have a seconder, please? Jen, thank you. All in favor? And that carries. Thank you. We will move on to reports and briefings. Our Manager of Human Resources, City of St. Thomas and County of Elgin Joint Accessibility Open House 2025. Go ahead, Emily.
Yeah, thank you. Just wanted to give the group an update. So the accessibility open house that we partnered with the City of St. Thomas was a couple weeks ago at the Joe Thornton Arena in the gymnasium there. We had a number of vendors come. We had, I think, close to 75 attendees come, so it was really well attended. Seems like Facebook was the main advertisement for those groups. I just want to thank the committee members here who were involved and came out and supported. I'd also like to thank the warden. He came out and him and the Mayor of St. Thomas had a basketball 3-on-3 with some of the wheelchair basketball, the group that was there that Jen was able to help organize. And I think that was a hit. And they realized it's not that easy to kind of dribble a ball and wheel around out there. So it was a great event with some great attendance. I can get you guys some more details kind of once we finalize more of the stats and information, but I think it was another great event this year, kind of co-hosted by both committees.
Thank you, Emily. Any questions or comments?
Through you, Chair. I'm sorry I missed it this year. Last year was really good too, and I think last year the attendance was quite high on that one. Sorry I couldn't make this year, but this year looked even better than last year. Thank you.
Yeah, I missed Mayor Joe and the warden. I got it. They had just literally finished and they were puffing, so it was some exercise, but they were both smiling, so I think they had fun. All right, any further comments? If not, please read.
Resolved that the verbal report from the Manager of Human Resources be received and filed.
Mover and seconder, please. Todd, seconder, Carleen, all in favor? And that carries. Thank you. Emily, you're still up. 2025 AODA compliance report. Go ahead.
Yes, this year is a compliance reporting year. So biannually, we submit a report to the province outlining if we are in compliance with accessibility or if we have any outstanding items that we are working on. So I'm submitting to the committee a draft report that could be submitted saying that we are meeting all accessibility requirements. There was a bit of a change to the report this year, so they've streamlined it and kind of reduced it to the main streams of compliance. After reviewing and updating everything and confirming with our executive leadership team, we are in compliance under customer service, information and communication standards, employment standards, design of public spaces standards, and our general requirements, including our multi-year accessibility plan that does expire next year. And so that is what is outlined in that report to approve and get submitted this year. But happy to answer any questions anyone has regarding the compliance report.
All right, pleased to hear that we are in compliance. I guess that's a key phrase. Questions or comments from members? All right, would you like to read the resolution?
Resolved that the report titled 2025 AODA Compliance Report from the Manager of Human Resources dated October 14th, 2025 be received and filed, and that the committee endorse the submission of the 2025 AODA Compliance Report to the Ministry of Seniors and Accessibility by the legislated deadline of December 31st, 2025.
Mover and seconder, please. Moved by Todd, second by Carleen. No further discussion. I'll call the vote. All in favor, please. That carries. Thank you. We are at the point of other business. Do we have any? Do we have any new business? Old business? Okay. Do we have correspondence? Okay. And no closed session, so we will move on down. Date of next meeting?
Oh, sorry, for those online, I'm just asking Emily if she knows roughly when we may need to meet again.
I think because the compliance report's due at the end of the year, but that's now, we're good on that. I don't think there's anything outstanding for the remainder of the year. If we don't want to meet again, we could look at the new year, and that's typically when I would bring the annual report on accessibility. But happy to meet sooner if the committee thinks that that would be helpful.
I know there was a bit of a turmoil in getting a meeting, and we've got, everyone's here tonight, so that's great. If we left it a call of chair, because I think we're probably gonna all have to get our calendars out anyway and go, but when staff throw a pencil at me and say we need a meeting, we'll endeavor to pick a date. Everyone fine with that? Okay. And we are at adjournment.
Resolved that we do now adjourn at 7:32 PM to meet again at the call of the chair.
Moved by Dave. Second by Jen. All right. All in favor? Okay. And that carries. We are adjourned, and thank everyone for your attention and turning up tonight.